with your manager that might encourage better communications and a creative plan to manage those stressors.
Right.
They are vested in your best performance. So instead of just complaining, you might want to talk about what might be possible to maximize your performance. Mm-hmm. A win-win.
Now, let's do the differentiation between stressed and just outright burnt out. What's the difference between the two? Maybe we may be using those incorrectly in our day-to-day activities.
Yeah. No, burnout's a hot topic right now, especially in the corporate world. Actually, I found a lot of articles. I found some by Mayo Clinic and some of the more clinical side, but also a lot from Forbes, because this is a major issue here, but also in the Western world in general. So stress is going to be anything from the day-to-day activities. A lot of times we feel pressure, the things that we have to do, things we didn't get done, and everyone feeling that we don't have enough time to get everything done. Mm-hmm. So everyone feels stress. And like Ms. Heather said as well, there's going to be good stress as well as bad stress, but we only, I like to think of it as kind of like a cup that we have. It all goes into the cup and still takes up space and energy. Burnout, on the other hand, is going to be kind of after chronic stress, right? So after you've been under pressure for so long, you start to become maybe more cynical or more critical. We get more irritable with people around us, a bit more snappy. You feel like you have a hard time getting going. You become more tired throughout the day. You don't have the energy that you used to. You become resentful of things that are going on, or just even begin to feel a bit more hopeless about everything. It just feels like it will never get done.
Yeah, and many, I've seen and read articles as well, that because competition is so stiff in the workplace, mm-hmm. you're scared to even go to your superiors to just offload, to let them know maybe why there may have been a decline in your performance, because they're fearful of another one coming on the left hook and you're out of a job. How can you go there when sometimes you don't even have superiors that are capable or even conducting themselves in a manner to say that they're capable of handling your concerns professionally and not taking it personal?
Again, it could be a conversation of a success-oriented conversation.
Right.
If I'm very interested in success, sometimes people aren't aware of everything that's on your plate, and to spell it out as in, I want to succeed. I've got a lot on my plate. Help me understand how to prioritize what I have in front of me, mm-hmm. Because I feel that maybe overwhelmed is not the right word, but I want to make sure that I get everything done,
right.
and I would like to know what's most important to you so that I can succeed. So it's not a complaining conversation, it's a
right.
strategy session.
Mm-hmm. It's breaking the difference between those two conversations.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're in tune to Radio Cayman's Business Buzz, and on the show this morning, we are exploring some strategies that can help us all achieve a better work-life and balance. We learn more about this by speaking to psychologist Dr. Alexandra Bodden from On Course Cayman, and she's also brought along with her Miss Heather Lockhart of BHAC. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the importance of exercise and healthy eating. We'll also go into maintaining a healthy work-life balance, and how can we eliminate bad habits where it's so easy to just go back and suck back into that negative vortex. We're going to help you today and even assist you in how you can get unplugged. Keep it locked to the Business Buzz for more when we come back.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
And for 45 years, we have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
If you would like to have clear and healthy skin, then ask the pharmacist at Healthcare Pharmacy in Grand Harbor about Proactive and X-Out skincare products. Get your best blemish-free skin ever with dermatologist-developed Proactive. X-Out is a revolutionary doctor-developed acne treatment designed just for teens. This one-step face cleanser works 3 ways to clear up acne. Ask the pharmacist at Healthcare Pharmacy in Grand Harbor for advice on Proactive and X-Out. Get the skin you've always wanted. Healthcare Pharmacy, Grand Harbor.
The Creek Seventh-day Adventist Church, in collaboration with the Grand Cayman SDA Community Service Department, invites the Cayman Brat community to its Health Expo on Sunday, March 10th at the Aston Retty Civic Center from 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Come and be informed on tips for living healthy, enjoy organic, tasty, and nutritious meals, and receive free health checks. 1 to 4:30 p.m. this Sunday, March 10th at the Aston Retty Civic Center.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, the business topics that matter, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. Cayman's Business Buzz.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz. It is proudly sponsored by GreenTurtle.ky, Cayman Medical Supplies, and Cayman Insurance Center. Keeping the spotlight on Course Cayman and BHAC with, in studio with me, Dr. Alexandra Bodden of On Course Cayman and Ms. Lockhart, Heather Lockhart of BHAC, telling us how we can definitely reach and find a common medium in balance in work and finding oneself, which is so important in today's life with everything and all the hats that many of us wear. Now, let's talk a little bit about eliminating bad habits, because it's so easy. It's so easy to just get sucked into that vortex many a times. Talk about some activities that may contribute to time wasting in our lives that we can do, to use our time more wisely.
I mean, I would say number one is social media for many, many people. Social media, emails. There's a lot of apps these days that will actually track how much time you're spending on different activities on your phone. Mm-hmm. And so that can actually be really enlightening. So the first thing is going to be understanding what your bad habits are or your less helpful habits are in order to get a gauge of it and then be able to make a plan to work through it.
Mm-hmm.
One tip I would have is being organized. People waste a lot of time looking for files, doing things that you do every year that you don't automate. People's birthdays, paying bills, things like that. So be as organized as you can. You also want to consider that saying no is very important. We don't understand our own time. So before you make a commitment, you want to think carefully about your existing commitments and know your own schedule. Mm-hmm. It's okay to say no in a very graceful way so that you're saying yes to yourself.
Right. Ladies, we have a caller on the line. You hearing? You're hearing?
Yes.
Good? Yes. Okay, go ahead. Hello, caller. You're live on the air.
Good morning, host.
Good morning. Yes, sir.
Got a question for your panel there. If I'm following your guests there right, I think one of them is Caymanian.
Yes, Dr. Bodden is.
All right. I wonder, in all the research I think that is public going on or is going on or that will go on, have there been any looking back? And I want to get this term that you used, life balance. What's that term that you've been using all morning?
Life balance. And on course, work and life balance.
Work and life balance.
Yeah, it's mixing the two, but still finding a balance.
Okay. Has there been any research done on, say, the life balance of our ancestors, let's say 50 years back? And do we know anything about that?
Interesting. They didn't have social media.
Yeah. So I'm not aware of any specific studies. I know that there has been a few going on looking at other areas that are important as far as mental health goes within the actual workplace and the corporate world in Cayman. But for mental health, there has been more studies done with student populations. And so we have seen that stress, mental health concerns as far as anxiety and depression in Cayman tend to be similar to other Caribbean countries and other English-speaking Caribbean countries. And so, as far as going as a mental health rating, which really work-life balance, when that's not there, tends to bring up mental health difficulties when stress crosses over into mental illness or mental health concerns, as far as anxiety and depression. So that would be our best barometer that we have right now. The World Health Organization, under the guidance of Dr. Lockhart, did the WHO AIM study a few years ago as well, which does show that we have similar levels of mental illness to other countries. And we actually have a lot of services available on island. There are a few gaps that we still need as far as like the long-term mental health facility that he's looking at. But Cayman has similar difficulties, but a lot of providers as well. So for a small island country, we do have a lot of services available. And the best of which I think is actually the counseling center is free counseling services. I've worked in different countries and different states within the U.S., and that's not something I've seen before. So anyone who is feeling stressed, there are services available from the government to help find that work-life balance, because we're going to give strategies today of things that you can do yourself, but sometimes it's helpful to have an outside person there to bounce ideas off of, or even to help us take a reading of ourselves of how out of balance are we.
Right. Caller?
Well, I think, I think, with all due respect to what you just said, the question that I asked was, let me just rephrase it. Do you think it would be advantageous to the Caymanian psyche, the Caymanian community, if some research was done on that life balance of our ancestors from 50 years back? Because I'm sure, and you brought mental health in there, and everything we do, mentally, that's the core of our existence.
Right.
And they had all that stress, and they managed it somewhat quite well, I would have to say, with little resources, and with all the resources we've got here now, or that we say we have, which could be questionable. You know, I wonder where are we going with this? But if you go back and look at the life balance, and I repeat that, life balance that our ancestors had, and so far this morning, I've been listening a little, been keeping an ear out. I haven't heard any spirituality aspect come into this conversation. Mm-hmm. And I think if you go back and look at how our ancestors handled all the various things. Now, I know there was not, at least that's our perception, there was not the kind of stresses that we have now that they had back then. But I think that is also a myth, because workplace, if you had walked down the Georgetown dock 60 years ago and saw those sailors working in the hot sun in the hold of the gold field, manhandling 200-pound sacks of sugar on a block and tackle and swinging them over the deck and so forth, I think your perspective might change. Mm-hmm. So I think as far as Cayman go, a good research project, however you want to put it, on how our ancestors managed stress. Okay, spirituality, hey, they took their rest, and I've heard that aspect come in. Mm-hmm. And I think based on what was available, they practiced a good level of nutrition. Everything was more or less natural, and they snorted a good snort of salt water a couple of times a week, and there are so many other things.
Right.
Yeah.
And if we don't look at that and we keep going forward with all of this, what I've heard so far this morning, then I think we're burying ourselves.
Yeah.
And that. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I agree. I think that there's a lot of things that was built into the Caymanian lifestyle before that are things that we have to actively work to reincorporate back into our lives these days. Mm-hmm. Family was more of a priority. It was more of a need for survival. There was a lot more physical activity, which is a great way of dealing with stress and burning off anxiety and pressure. And spirituality was a key aspect back then and still is for many people. Mm-hmm. And so that is something that I always tap into as well. I think there's so much that can come from religion as far as like a social support network, hope, belief, a set of core values. And that's something that's really important for many people these days as well.
We'll get more into the importance of exercise and healthy eating as well, caller. So, yes, that is one of the topics that would have been posed.
Just one other point. You mentioned physical anyway, being exercising, all this stuff.
Right.
They did a lot. They did a lot of exercise. You know?
Yeah, because of the work, manual labor.
It was manual labor, and even the children
backing sand and thatch and tops and
if you were 14 years old or 15 years old and went backside the reef and want to paddle for a big belly Lambert wave, you were exercising, and you were exercising everything in your body.
That's right.
Yep.
So put a little CI in the mix there.
Okay.
Let it mix it up good.
Yes,
thank you so much for your contributions and very valuable points, but it's true. Understanding that we are an evolving community, but you still got to understand where you're coming from, and it's quite true. How did they manage it? Or it was just a matter of survival, and they automatically went to church on Sunday, went to church on Saturday. They had that downtime while they were waiting for that cassava cake and that caboose to cook. You were sitting now waiting on that. I mean, these are all things that are relative and quite common for what we as islanders and Caymanians did back in the day.
Yeah, well, and I think what you're seeing these days is modern society and things that we're facing in Cayman, but also in other places as well. As far as like technology, no downtime, always having to be on the go, a need for instant gratification all the time.
Even church, I'm seeing people with their iPads, and that's their Bible. Long gone are the days now where you're seeing people with the Bible in their hand and going through those leaves, finding that book that the pastor is reading out of. They have it on a smart device. Search for it, and it's right there. You don't even need to memorize the Bible anymore because it's at your fingertips. And I think that's where it's creating that balance, with where we're going, but understanding where we're coming from to still keep that as a core of who we are as people.
Yeah. Well, and I think knowing who you are as a person, but who you are culturally as well, is so helpful with giving you a groundedness, right? And a sense of purpose and connection with other people as well.
Now let's talk about the importance of nutrition. We spoke a little bit about exercising, and what you are is what you put into your body. How significant is this?
Very significant. And when we start to look at life balance and what is necessary for a healthy self, nutrition does often come up. And this can be very challenging in light of what we've been talking about, is where's the time? And although I don't specialize in nutritional coaching, many of my clients do utilize a nutritionist or look with their medical professional into what's necessary for that. And the biggest block I get with that many times is I don't have time to eat healthy. There's no time. I don't have time for meal prep. I don't have time to get anything healthy. And their nutritional habits have slipped. And so it comes back into what needs to go. What do you need to let go of, or what needs to happen to prioritize yourself to get back into eating properly so that you have the energy to fuel the rest of your commitments to feel better.
Yeah, when clients come in really stressed, that's one of the things I talk about is getting back to basics, which is eating right, making sure you're drinking enough water, and even getting enough sleep, because those are the basic fuels that your body's going to need to be able to deal with everything that comes at you every day.
Now, the big one, unplugging. Now, that could be many things. Unplug all your devices, put them in a bag, put them in a cupboard in your bathroom or something, connect an outlet in the bathroom away from you so that you can really unplug and just have one-on-one with yourself, one-on-one with your partner or your family. Let's talk about the importance in being able to unplug.
This is extremely important. Now, this starts with your relationship with others, because people say, I can't do that. My children I need to be highly available to my children, to my employer, etc. So it starts with having conversations with others and saying, I'm going to set a boundary here where I'm going to be unavailable X. Maybe it starts with dinner. We're going to have phones off during dinner, and letting those others in your life know there's going to be times where I'm not available, or at least just starting with not being available. Right. Everyone has to have time where they are not attached to a device. As you just mentioned, it's very important to not be looking at your phone, to be present, and to not be, tied to a device.
Yeah. It's interesting, though. I was watching a study the other day that was a video of a study that was done with kids where they had them, the parents took the phones for, I think it was 2 weeks. The first week was torture. They almost go through actual withdrawals of not having the phones around. But then they learned how to go outside and play, to actually enjoy spending time with their parents and with their friends, and really enjoyed having time away from the phone. So the first little bit can be difficult, but a lot of people say it's very rewarding and very relieving to be able to have some time away. they then challenge the parents to do the same thing.
Oh, Lord. That must be interesting.
Yeah.
And we are setting examples for our children as well. It's very hard to encourage your children to live, to play outside and do things without their phones if we are constantly attached to our phones. And we're also telling our children, too, when we're looking at their phones, when we're looking at our phones and not listening to them, that our phones are more important, our jobs are more important than they are. Or our spouse. Yeah. When we're having a conversation with our spouse at the end of the day, or our partner, and we're not paying attention to them, we're looking down on our phone every minute.
And it's funny how you get that feeling in your body that you're not getting the undivided attention that you used to deserve, whether or not they're looking at their device
or they're listening,
or their response is robotic and they didn't absorb it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You know that. It's just an energy that is released. You know that they're not in tune. So, lead by example is key, what I always say. Work-life balance is an important aspect of a healthy work environment. Maintaining work-life balance helps reduce stress and helps prevent burnout in the workplace. Chronic stress is one of the most common health issues in the workplace. It can lead to physical consequences such as hypertension, digestive troubles, chronic aches and pains, and even heart problems. Chronic stress can also negatively impact mental health because it's linked to a higher risk of depression, anxiety, and insomnia. Keep it locked to the Business Buzz for more when we come back.
Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Always be prepared and ensure your family is provided for. Cayman Insurance Center specializes in life, property, motor, health, and liability at the most competitive premiums and affordable rates on island. Call Michael Webster today at 925-5433 for life insurance or Denise Brown at 814-7229 for property insurance. Call them today for all your insurance needs.
Advance Automotive introduces the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. Built on the legacy of the most dependable full-size pickups on the road, the Silverado offers enhanced aerodynamics and a more muscular presence. Life's more fun with a truck. Get the perfect balance between work and play with the Colorado. Sand, asphalt, or mud. You can't go wrong with the most capable off-road truck in its class. Visit the Advance Automotive showroom on Owen Roberts Drive or AdvanceChevrolet.com. Don't just drive the road, live it.
March is Honouring Women Month. Hashtag Balance for Better. Support the Family Resource Centre's annual Colour Me Purple 5K fun walk run event and make a difference. Register now. Adults pay only $25 for entry and t-shirt and bib. The Colour Me Purple 5K walk run takes place on Sunday, March 17th, 7 Mile Beach at 6:30 a.m. Book now via CaymanActive.com or stop by the Family Resource Centre's temporary location on the 3rd floor of the Old Walkers Building on Mary Street today. Support Honouring Women Month. Walk or run for an equal chance for all.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, the business topics that matter, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. Business Buzz.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz and keeping the spotlight on Course Cayman and our topic this morning, the importance of work-life balance. I'm pleased to have joining me in studio Dr. Alexandra Bodden from On Course Cayman, and she's brought along with her Miss Heather Lockhart, a certified life coach, Chief Operating Officer of Behavioral Health Associates Cayman. Now, we've explored and we've touched on a number of issues, but tell us what we as individuals and employers can do to make it possible for either ourselves or our employees to reach optimal balance, be it at home or in the workplace.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's important to know it's going to be different for everyone. You're going to have friends that say, oh, this is what I do, this is what I do. Mm-hmm. And so when Heather and I actually do workshops on this, we'll have clients or participants sit down and think about what's most important to them and figure out ways that we can reflect that in their work-life balance and their day-to-day schedules. And so one of the biggest things is going to be scheduling in time for yourself. You know, it's us and our self-care that often gets squeezed out. So making time for yourself and getting physically active, whether it's through relaxation exercises or some kind of exercise, like I like to dance and ride horses, yoga, running. There's so many options out there, especially in Cayman, a lot of water activities as well. Yeah. And to go ahead and schedule in time. But I tell people to make sure it's sustainable. Right? So if 3 hours at the gym is not realistic and you hate the gym, that's not going to work. So trying different things until you find something that you enjoy. And actually new activities give more dopamine as well. So try a couple of different things to find what's going to work for you and make it sustainable. It might be 30 minutes on the treadmill. It might be 5 minutes of yoga in the morning.
Right.
And figuring out what's going to work for you.
Right. Fair enough. Miss Heather?
Talking about, and I'm an employer as well, and this made me think about our environment. First of all, keep the communication open. Tune into your environment. Is this a stressful place to work? Would I want to work here? And have it okay for employees to talk to you. Secondly, keep the stigma down about mental health. Mental health is part of health. Make sure that there's avenues for your employees to talk about reaching out for help. If you don't have a formal employee assistance program, have an informal one. Make sure that they understand all the amazing avenues there are here in Cayman for getting assistance. There are government programs. There are lots of private avenues to get help, and Dr. Bodden has lots of those resources on her website. So just make sure that there are ways to reach out. It's not always obvious. In fact, many times it's not obvious if someone needs help. Make sure they can go to HR or to you as the owner or whatever to make sure they can reach out and get help. Encourage breaks too. A lot of times there's judgment. Wow, why is she taking a break? Why is she taking such a long lunch break or whatever? So make sure that there are breaks, 15-minute breaks. It's good to walk outside and get some fresh air in our beautiful country. Breaks are good. Eating lunch at your desk, not good. It's okay to get out. So we want our employees to be healthy. We should be healthy. Let's make sure we're taking breaks. Encourage exercise programs, 5Ks, sponsor your employees to go do fun things. Maybe you want to get some T-shirts and go walk together. So we want to encourage those healthy things together. And also watch the donuts that we bring in. Watch the dishes of candy. I was just saying that we've got a dish of candy out right now at our office because we found some Christmas stuff that we put out. Put out healthy options. Dr. Bodden at Encourse has granola bars out. So, watch the sodas and things like that. Make sure you have water or fresh juices and healthy things. Might cost a little bit more, but having medical problems are more expensive in the long run for employers.
True.
So make sure you keep an eye on what's going on in the office. Be observant.
I think now would be an appropriate time to tell people how to get in contact with each of you.
So Encourse Cayman, our phone number is 745-6463, and our website is encourse.ky. And I also have drbodden.com, which is where I post information, like on our radio shows.
Okay. And we are at www.bhac.ky. We're at 746-0066. And I also have a coaching company called The Clarity Hub. So I'm on The Clarity Hub on Instagram.
Oh, nice. Dr. Bodden, you said you work with horses.
I do.
Tell us how you incorporate that with assisting persons to exhale, unwind, find that balance.
Well, you found my work-life balance. So I ride my horse at least 4 times a week to make sure that I am in a good place for my clients as well. I believe it's important to practice what I preach. So what we do with the EAP, I actually do that with Cowboy Town Stable. So it's myself and Mashana Pandui. We go into the arena. The horses are loose because we believe the horses are part of our treatment team. And horses, being herd animals, are very attuned to social cues. Being prey animals, they're very good at looking after themselves and paying attention to what's going on around them. So whatever the person that we're working with, what's a client or a workshop participant, whatever they bring into the arena, the horses will respond to. And so it's great because in office I'm very CBT and very skill-oriented, but with the horses it's more experiential. It's about experiencing things in the moment and making changes live with the horses. And so we'll do different activities with them and process it based on what happens with the horses to hear from the client what it was like for them.
Really?
Yeah.
What has been the most interesting experience you found where someone came in was totally negative of what they were thinking about themselves, but then when they got in that arena, it was something else?
It's amazing. We've had several sessions where, so especially when we were doing our training, we had everyone ended up in tears. It always starts with, especially at a training, you pick something quite benign. But if you're open to the experience with the horses, different insights come up. As the horses move, they become the people in your life. Whatever happens in real life happens in the arena. And so that's why it's very client-driven. So we ask them what it was like for them.
Right.
And that way they put their story on it, their interpretation of it, in order for them to be able to make changes in the real time with the horses.
I'll give you an example. I went into this workshop not knowing what it would be like. And I thought, well, that's a horse. I mean, I'm not a horse person. I'm a little scared of them, actually. You don't ride them or anything. They're fabulous animals.
Right.
So I thought, well, what can I learn out of this? And as a coach, I'm open to learning. What I learned is that a limitation of the way I manage and the way I parent and everything is I want to go in and just do things for people. I don't let them learn for themselves sometimes. So I learned from this super cool exercise with a horse and I think it was a giant telephone pole or something. That's what I learned, is that I need to let people learn for themselves. With me and this horse, horses do what horses do.
Yes.
And I do what I do.
Exactly.
And I don't always do it well. And I learned in about 20 minutes this major roadblock in my own management style with this horse. And they just facilitate this beautifully, and there's really not a lot going on. You're just learning with the horse.
Right.
And certain things that horses just do as horses and things that we do as human beings that I don't know how I would have got that out of a corporate workshop, but I learned it with this horse.
Excellent.
And thought, light bulb.
Yeah, perfect.
It's fascinating.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Any final thoughts you would like to leave with our listening audience? I'll give you an opportunity now. I could start with Dr. Bodden.
I would say, it's actually, I'm going to use, if it's okay, I'm going to steal one of Miss Heather's quotes, which is say yes to you. You know, I think that that's so great. We talk about saying no to other things a lot, which is hard because we're not supposed to say no, but saying yes to you. Make yourself a priority because you're worth it, right? Make time for yourself. Do the things that you love. Turn off the phones. Spend time with your family. Really get into everything that you're doing. It will help you have more satisfaction and enjoyment in your life. It will also make you more productive if that's going to get you started on it. So you'll have, by making time for yourself and stepping away from work, you'll actually see increased productivity and efficiency in the workplace.
Thank you, Dr. Bodden. Ms. Heather.
In terms of work-life balance, just start to move the needle a little bit. It's okay if you just edge it a little bit at a time. So start anywhere. Just start.
Good. What I'm taking away from all of this is that many a times we try to control everything or think you got it, when you just got to relax and let it take its course. You find that you micromanage so much that you get nothing done. And being respectful for yourself and just listening to yourself will yield the greatest rewards one could ever imagine. Stop trying to take control of everything. And life will control itself. It is a pleasure. We want to thank you for allowing us to put the spotlight on both of your organizations. We want to wish you success.
Thank you so
All
much.
the best to you.
Thanks for having us.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by greenturtle.ky. Get your new phone at greenturtle.ky. No stress, no fuss at greenturtle.ky. And Cayman Medical Supplies. Give them a call, 949-6211. Last but not least, Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. Want to thank our producer, Susan, and for Lynn behind the boards. Until Tuesday, have a safe and fabulous Thursday.
Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by insurance agents Michael Webster and Denise Brown from Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in life and property insurance. Don't take chances with your family's future.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
And for 45 years, we have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
The Creek Seventh-day Adventist Church, in collaboration with the Grand Cayman SDA Community Service Department, invites the Cayman Brat community to its Health Expo on Sunday, March 10th at the Aston Retty Civic Center from 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m.